Hey guys, what's going on? I just want to put out this video again as an update to one of my earlier videos where I go over and review my Mac 90 Sporter. I was in my local gun store buying some stuff today. Uh, Among the things I bought and we talked about, I noticed they had a Mac 90 on the wall for sale, similar to the one I had in my other video, but he had a different stock and had some different accessories on it. Anyways, we were talking about it, and one of the interesting things is that Norinco, from what he said, if my source is correct, is no longer going to import Mac 90 AKs into the U.S. market anymore. Now, if anybody's heard anything different, or if I'm wrong, by all means correct me and let me know what you have heard. But that's what I've heard as of now, guys. So if you're looking into buying a Mac 90, I would go ahead and if there's any local gun shows coming up, I'd go ahead and attend one of them and see what they got. And if it's not too outrageous, I'd go ahead and buy one because as it is, I'm thinking about buying the one on the wall at my local gun store, the one I went to today. Because if you're a collector, and I'm not a real hardcore collector, guys. I mean, I do have some stuff, but I'm not gonna buy 4 and 5 of the same rifle. I might buy one or two, and that's about it. But if you're thinking about you want a Mac 90, now's the time I would go ahead and get it before they climb any higher and they get really outrageous and the price gets out of hand. Because um, as far as it is now, from what I've heard, they're not going to import anymore, so it may be worth more money to a collector than someone who just wants to buy, your run-of-the-mill AK. And if that's the case, there are many more makes other than Mac 90 if you just want a good, sturdy AK. But anyway, guys, while I was in there, if you remember from my last video, I was telling you about the thumb hole stock and how I took it off and put the Romanian one on, and how I thought about putting a traditional type buttstock on it. And I did just that today. I bought a Tapco polymer buttstock, traditional style buttstock, broom stock, whatever you want to call it. It's one of the better ones out there. Tapco makes good stuff, but the only thing with this, if you notice, like I said in my last videos, the receiver of these Mac 90s are slanted cut. They're not straight down. So when you fit it in, if you do have a Mac 90 and you do put a Tapco stock on it, you're going to have that little gap in there, guys, and that's just the way it is. I mean, unless you figure out and maybe take it to a gunsmith and have him weld a piece of metal on there or something, which is probably more trouble than it's worth. That's the way it is. It's just going to be a little gap, and it should not impair the function of the rifle any, guys. I've had that before when I had, I think, my M4 style stock. I noticed a little gap. Went out and test fired it. Didn't hurt a thing. Didn't hurt a thing at all. It's just one of those minor cosmetic flaws, but it's the way the receiver's made. There's not much you can do about it. But anyway, guys, like I was saying, for some reason though, Tapco products, even though they're good, I don't think they were specifically designed for Mac 90s. Yeah, I had a little bit of trouble putting this one in. I had to mill down some of the insides of the stock right here where it slides into the buttstock. There were some metal pieces inside of my receiver that kind of blocked it from going any further to where I could get a good get it seated into this slot right here where the trunnion is. So I greased it up at WD-40, took my Dremel, trimmed down some of the front edges and some of the side edges, and it fit pretty good in there now. This is about as good as it's going to get. So I don't know what it is with Tapco. Like I said, if you remember, I was bitching and complaining about that Tapco AK magazine in my last video about the Mac 90. For some reason, they may just be a universal type fit, and you got to trim it down to the specifics of your AK, and that's just, again, that's just one of the variations of the AKs from different countries. Um, some other ones like the Wasser 10, and they just slide right in, and you just drill your pilot holes and screw it down. Now with this one, I had to ditch the screws that came with it, and I had to get just a standard wood screw, as you can see, kind of shining right here. Now the wood screw is going to work. It's long enough, it's strong enough, and all you have to do with this is just Get you a little Q-tip with some black paint on it and dab it on there. Let it dry. It's no big deal, guys. AKs are, you know, they're not really, like I said, going to be, most of them are not pretty precision weapons. They're workhorses. So, like I said, if anybody knows anything about that, about any more Norinco news, if they're going to import them anymore, if they're not, just drop me a line through here on YouTube, or just, reply to my video here and let me know what's going on, because that's the first I've heard of it. And I kind of thought it was something like that, because whenever I surf the internet, I rarely find any Mac 90s for sale unless it's like on GunsAmerica.com or something, or somebody selling one of those other gun auction sites. So if you're interested in getting one, now's the time. But just be advised, unless you're going to keep that broomstock on, you may have to do a little uh, customizing to some of the furniture, like the buttstock. But not to be afraid, it won't hurt it a bit. I mean, it's going to work. So that's about it, guys. I just wanted to update you on it and show you that I did put in the buttstock, something I've been wanting to do for a while, and I'll probably keep it like this. I couldn't find any fore ends that were the same color, because I have to change out the fore ends and the pistol grip right here, and it's not really that bad. So other than that, guys, I will see you next time, and be safe.